يا أيها المؤمنون الحاذرون لاتقوا الله تعالى واتقوا الذين هم محسنون الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء إمام المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the universes. All praises are due to Allah, who has no partner. All praises are due to Allah, who is unique, without compare. All praises are due to Allah, who sent His beloved Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammad ﷺ as the mercy to the universes. And may all peace and blessings be upon the Sultan of the Prophets, the Imam of the Messengers, the Master of the first and the last, the grandfather of Hassan and Hussein, the pride of creation, Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ, and upon his noble family and blessed companions, especially upon the Khulafa Rashidin, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Umar al-Faruq, Hazrat Osman al-Ghani, and Hazrat Ali al-Murtaza, and all those who follow them until the last day. O believers, welcome to you and welcome to me on this holy day of Jummah. Welcome to you on this blessed day that the Holy Prophet ﷺ is calling the mother of all days. And this day is blessed not just because today is Jummah. Today is even more blessed because this is the first Jummah of the holy month of Rabiul Awwal. Those whose hearts are beating with the love of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, they must be overjoyed and excited to have reached to these happy and amazing days after passing through the heavy month of Safar. And why is that? Because this is the month in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent His beloved to this physical world. On the 12th day of this holy month, Hazrati Amina Hatun gave birth to the light of the universes, Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ. In these days, Muslims must be excited. Something must be waking up in the hearts of the believers. They must be running to make their lives different, to make these days to be special and honored. Ignore the foolish, ignorant, arrogant, the square-headed ones who are saying that we should not celebrate Mawlid. Leave them to their ignorance and their Jahannam. Celebrating the birth of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, this is the mark of a believer. One of the greatest scholars of the Ummah, Imam Jalaluddin as-Suyuti, radiyallahu an, is saying, it is wajib, it is an obligation, that special gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be expressed in this month. And as much worship and charity should be done as is possible, since He has bestowed on us the enormous blessing of the birth of His beloved, alayhi salatu wassalam. And throughout the history of Islam, the believers have shown their happiness and gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing us with the birth of the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam in this month. One person is describing the celebration of Mawlid, saying in the Hijaz, Mawlid in the Hijaz, saying, the people of Mecca and Medina and Egypt and Yemen and Syria and all the eastern and western cities of Arabia, they all hold functions in celebration of the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. They all rejoice at the sighting of the Rabiul Awwal moon. They all bathe and put on their best clothes. They adorn themselves in various ways. They put on perfume and they give charity with great joy and exert themselves in listening to the Mawlid of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. By doing so, they themselves attain to success. As it has been proved that by celebrating the Mawlid of the Prophet ﷺ, the whole year is blessed. Security and comfort, greater means of livelihood, increase in children and in wealth, peace in cities, and contentment and peace in homes. And the Holy Ottoman Empire, the inheritors of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, made the Mawlid into a celebration of the state. On the night of the Mawlid, by imperial order. The whole population would go to the jamis and the masjids. And the sultan and all of the statesmen, they would attend and listen to the mawlid of Hazrat Sulaiman Chalabi, whose poetry describes the birth of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. O believers, to celebrate this month, to celebrate the mawlid, it is showing what is in a person's heart. It is testing whether the love of the Holy Prophet ﷺ is there or not. It is not to do a show-off kind of mawlid in a huge sports arena with special effects and huge crowds and just singing, and in so many places too, and dancing. No, it's not that kind of mawlid. The mawlid where the love of Holy Prophet ﷺ that is deeply rooted in the heart is showing on that night, is to sit humbly and to gather and to remember and to take lesson and to make a promise to the Holy Prophet ﷺ to put his life into our lives. It's not just to sit and to remembering only 5, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, and then to go back to our own selfish and egoistic lifestyle. But it is to make a promise to the Holy Prophet ﷺ to put his life and his lifestyle into our life. We are doing that to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the favor of the Holy Prophet. That love of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, it is not just talk. It is not just to sing poems and to get very emotional. It is not just that. It is good if you have that. It is not just to organize Mawlid conferences or Sirah conferences. It is to live and to die, to spend the breath of life in the service and in the way of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. As Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying in his Hadith Sharif, by him in whose hands my life is, none of you will have faith. None of you will have faith till he loves me more than his father and his children. So in these days of Rabiul Awwal, we should check if we have that kind of love in our hearts. How will we check? How are we going to check whether we have that love that is overwhelming the love that we have for our father and our mothers? We must look to those who lived and they died for his sake, the Sahaba Kiram. We must look at their love and we must compare it to our own love. Look at the love of Hazrat Khubayb ibn Adi radiallahu anh. He had been sent on a scouting mission by the Holy Prophet ﷺ with 10 other Sahabis, and they were captured by the enemy. Except for Hazrat Khubayb, all the other companions in that group were martyred in the fighting. And the enemies kept Hazrat Khubayb alive with the intention of torturing him, because he had slain so many of the family members in Badr. Before they took him out of his jail cell to torture him, he asked to perform 2 rakats of prayer. He prayed very quickly, not slow. He prayed very quickly and said to them with his jalal, Wallahi, I would have made my namaz longer, but you would have thought I did so out of fear. And when they took Hazrat Khubayb to the execution place, he started singing these words. He started praising the Prophet. He started singing a mawlid for all those ignorant ones who is banning other people from singing mawlids and saying that this is haram or bid'ah. Hazrat Khubayb, to the place of his execution, was singing. While becoming a shahid as a Muslim, why should I care how I die, as long as I die in Allah's way? If my Lord wishes, let them cut me apart. Allah will bless me limb by limb. And the kuffar, they began to tie Hazrat Khubayb up, and they said to him, Ya Khubayb, wouldn't you rather that Muhammad والسلام, was here in your place and you were secure with your family? And Hazrat Khubayb turned to them and said, I swear by Allah, Khubayb will not want to be with his family. Khubayb would not want to be with his family and his sons, enjoying all the wealth of the world, if even a thorn pricked the messenger of Allah. And upon hearing these words, the kuffar, they drove their spears into the body of Hazrat Khubayb. And the unbelievers put him on a cross, and they crucified him. As they were tying him to that cross made of date palms, Hazrat Khubayb looked in the skies and says, Ya Allah, we have fulfilled the mission of your messenger. Ya Allah, send my salams to my beloved Prophet. And Hazrat Usama bin Zayd radiallahu anh is relating that at that moment, at that exact moment, miles away from Hazrat Khubayb, the eyes of the Holy Prophet ﷺ filled with tears. And he said, Allah has sent me the salams of Khubayb. We must check our hearts. What is the kind of love that is living there? In these Mawlid days, we must ask ourselves, do we love the Holy Prophet the way that Hazrat Khubayb ibn Adi loved him? And we should not fool ourselves into thinking, yes, I sacrifice for my Prophet. We have not seen the Prophet. We have not sat with him. We have not been in his presence. The way to check if we have the love of the Prophet is to see if we have the love of his inheritor, his successor in our hearts. If we have the love of our Shaykh in our hearts. If we are going to say to our Shaykh, may our parents be sacrificed for you. If we are going to love our Shaykh more than our fathers and our mothers and our children, because he is representing that Prophet. If we are able to do that, may Allah then accept our love for the Prophet. We are calling ourselves murids of Sahibul Saif. Are we candidates, nominees to be the Khubaybs of our Shaykh? May Allah not test us, but we need to ask ourselves that sincerely. In these days of Rabiul Awwal, the way to check our love for our Prophet is to check our love for our Shaykh. If we do not love him more than anything else, then anything we claim is false and it is delusional. This love is the essence of Islam. It is founded on sacrifice. If we say that we love our Shaykh, it is not just to sit and to think and to get emotional and to cry. It's good. But we must carry what he has carried. We must continue what he started. He did not just carry and continue buildings, physical projects. He carried all of us. And he wants to continue with us all the way to divine presence. How much are we carrying each other? Oh, lovers of Sahibul Saif. How much are we loving each other for his sake? How much are we helping each other to be awake, not to be fooled, not to be forced, but to sincerely look out and to help each other to build this Jamaat? That is showing your love. We are not so impressed with people who are crying for our Shaykh day and night. It is good. We are more impressed by those ones who don't cry but they help. And when something that is hitting to them, they smile and they keep it inside. That when they are hit, and something is touching to their ego, they are not coming up to offer anything but help. We are impressed with that. Of course, if you sit and you cry and you help, that's the best. Because the love is founded on sacrifice. It is founded upon submission. And those who are sincere, those who want to plant the seeds of that true love in their hearts, we must submit and sacrifice ourselves to a friend of Allah. If not, then we can sing as many naats as we want. We can read as much seerah as we want. We can go to as many Mawlid conferences as we want, unless we have that true love. Unless we have that love like Hazrat Khubayb had in our hearts to a living representative of the Prophet. We will not be counted amongst those who are living and dying for Habibullah alayhi salatu wasalam. As our Shaykh is saying, when we are sitting, thinking, concentrating and trying to understand what had happened and how these people gave their lives, if we are not finding in our hearts to be able to say, if I was in that situation, I would also be able to sacrifice my life, check your faith then. With that faith that you're not able to sacrifice the way that they did, you cannot reach anywhere. You need that kind of faith to pass the sirat, the bridge. If you understand what it is to sacrifice your love and your life for Allah, His Prophet, and for His religion, if we are not checking, if we are not finding that in our own hearts, then we must check ourselves and we must work on ourselves to be able to understand what it is to sacrifice for Islam. When it comes to talk, it's easy talking. We must think and concentrate and to understand. That will make our faith to grow then. These words are enough for us, the words of our Shaykh, until Judgment Day, for you and for me. In these days of Mawlid, we must make the intention to concentrate on being ready to sacrifice first our ego, then everything else, for the sake of Allah, for the sake of His Prophet ﷺ, for the sake of their friends. That time, inshallah Rahman, these days will be blessed. Ameen.